Hey, what's going on there, YouTube? This is SCL0320. I am back again for a brand new movie review, and this happens to be Jurassic World Week. What better thing to talk about on Jurassic World Week than Jurassic World? So I finally got to see it, y'all. Sorry about the craziness. I finally got to see it tonight. I'm going to be doing two different reviews. I'm going to be doing a non-spoiler review, and I'm going to be doing a spoiler-filled review. So this one is going to be basically the full spoiler-filled review. Anything goes in this one. One of the other things is Joe, he's been pretty sick. He's doing a lot better now, but he was not able to come tonight. So still keep Joe lifted up, but he's doing a lot better, but he was not able to go tonight. I actually went with 3 of my other friends, and we had a ball. I'm just going to go ahead and say that off the bat. I went in with very low expectations because the third one really did disappoint me. I remember even going to the movie theaters and I was like, man, what is this? Because I was thinking, man, you got the first main lead, like Sam Neill back, and it just kind of fell short, in my opinion. I thought it was a cool concept to having something that was bigger than a T-Rex and seeing what that was going to look like. But one of the things that satisfied me about this one is amount of nostalgic feel throughout most of this movie. Like, there were nods to Easter eggs back and forth. Like, there was one point in the movie where the two young kids, the two brothers, the older one and younger one, they are running for their life of this brand new genetically engineered hybrid of Dinosaur. And when they were running from it, they actually ended up in the very first ending scene, like basically where everything kind of went to a head, and they actually walked over like the ribbon that had fell off right as the T-Rex is kind of roaring up into the air and the ribbon falls down. They actually see the ribbon. They actually go through the back cut, and they actually see the goggles that I forgot the little one's name, the young boy that got electrocuted in the very first one. They see the actual goggles for that, and they actually see some of the old like Humvees. He even said, I think he made mention to a 1992 Jeep something, and because they had the jerry rig to get it back together. And I thought it was so many subtle nods. Even like some of my friends were like, dude, this scene that's going on right now, this is just what happened. Like, there was a point in the final stages of this movie, which I'm gonna go into in detail in a little bit, where at the very end, the main hybrid that has been really just wrecking everything. I mean, this thing kills for sport. Like, it literally goes around just killing stuff. Like, I guess partially reason if once you actually see the movie, and hopefully you're looking at this review or the spoiler for review after you've already seen the movie and not just kind of getting all my feedback, but the whole conceptualization of this thing was that it was put into an egg, and I knew, like, the first sequences that showed like something crawling around, and it was fidgety. I was like, man, this thing doesn't seem right, it doesn't seem naturally progressed, like, especially like how the rest of the dinosaurs had come out before. And come to find out, this thing not only ate his brother, but it literally was confounded in a confounded area all the whole entire time. So it was brought up alone, it was closed up alone, and it could not get out. But then it's engineered in such a way that it can actually camouflage itself. It actually has longer arms than an actual T-Rex does, but it's just the size of a T-Rex. And at the same exact time, it's got elements of velociraptors and all these different kind of other things that have been implanted into its DNA. And it's literally the perfect kind of killer machine that literally cut off its humanity. And it needs nothing, but it wants to conquer everything. And that was one of the things about, like, its whole presence there. Like, you got this park that they finally made, like, that John Hammond was like, he came up with the idea, but when he came up with the idea, he knew the cost that it would take to actually make this fulfilled, and lives would be lost. And this movie literally exemplifies that. Like, you see a lot of loss. Like, I don't know how they got away with this being a PG-13 movie. But anyway, going back to what I was saying really about it, is that towards the end, there's a major fight sequence between the T-Rex and this hybrid. And the T-Rex is just getting demolished. And before that happened, like, Chris Pratt's character is awesome. He plays the character Owen, who is, in my opinion, a raptor tamer. Like, not just that, I think he loves animal life. Like, he knows how to treat it, he knows how to nudge it. There was one point where it was like not a velociraptor, but a stegosaurus. No, what is it called? The ones with the long neck. I know y'all gonna correct me in the comments, that's fine. But basically it was dying. It was all because of the hybrid, and he was kind of getting close to it, and he's feeling and touching it. I was like, man, this is the older character, the younger girl. Well, not the younger girl, but the older girl that was with Sam Neill's character. And I forget her name. I always forget her name for whatever reason. But it's Laura Dern's character. Anyway, she was trying to help out when one of the animals were basically pregnant and working on stuff. And it kind of felt like that same kind of feel. And then towards the end, like I was saying, I'm trying to get to it, I'm sorry. It's just a lot that happened. When Chris Pratt's Velociraptors really kind of switch stages, that's something that happens. They try to attack this hybrid, and at some point it's two of them on top of the hybrid. I was like, man, this is the scene at the very end of the movie. And even like how the hybrid like takes on these things, I thought it was an amazing CG scene. Like they used, in my opinion, better fight sequences towards the end of this movie than Godzilla did. And I mean, Godzilla has some epic moments, especially when he breathed that fire down into the other thing. I thought that was really epic and cool. But the way the intensity level felt, and I think it's because Godzilla is so big and huge, like you could just literally step on something like it's an ant, you know, versus like these things, they're really big, but like they're not so big that you can't be like, okay, well, I can maybe get away from them, you know, and or they're not too big that they can't see me, you know. And this hybrid is so smart. Like, some of the things that it does, it just kind of blew my mind. And I'm not going to be able to describe all of it, but most of the time, I caught this eerie kind of feeling, you know. And it wasn't like a suspense kind of feeling. It was kind of like, every time I try to leave, something keeps pulling me back. And I keep on thinking about, like, that feeling that I felt when I was having like the T-Rex for the first time. The only difference is, and that's where it might like be some faults with this, is that there were no practical applications to the stunt work, or not the stunt work, but more so the CG. So the CG was all digital. So in the original one of the things that makes or breaks like it from being a real classic is because when there are close up panned out shots, when they're really close, it's all animatronic. It's all like they can really touch it and see it and stuff like that. And they only use CG for the outward shots, you know. For this entire thing, it was all CG. One of the things that surprised me though is that because Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard can act so well, that it's really believable, especially Chris Pratt. This dude, y'all, he is an action hero. He is gonna be the new Indiana Jones. I can't imagine him not being, after especially something like this. I mean, he did a great job with the ensemble with Guardians of the Galaxy, but he really took this on his own, you know? And he wasn't overly bearing, like, hilarious. I mean, he could have been. You know, they could have taken this and, like, taken him out of character and stuff like that, but he played somebody that knew his stuff, that cared about things, you know, but at the same time, like, he was the OG. Like, I actually really liked his character in this one, and some of the things that he does with the Velociraptors, like, is mind-blowing. It's kind of like that moment when you're kind of looking, you see somebody on a motorcycle and, like, they're hunting, like, this hybrid that is unstoppable, basically, and you're hunting the hybrid with Velociraptors. I mean, when I was looking at the previews initially, I was like, man, this is nuts. He's riding with Velociraptors. But the whole concept is that he is going hunting this hybrid like it's like a freaking deer, and he's got his own dogs, and these dogs are his Velociraptors. And I mean, even like the subtle moments when he's really connecting with these Velociraptors, those are some of the most emotional moments in like the movie. It's really strange, but I think that that's an essential thing, because if you focus too much on the human element, then you miss the whole point of why you're in this movie, which is to look at the dinosaurs and to embrace the fact that they are part of life essentially, and that's what John Hammond wanted to embrace with even creating this whole entire environment, is to take the unbelievable and show you like what their real essence is. And so I really enjoyed every moment that Chris Pratt was in the movie. And I mean, there were other notable notions. Like, I mean, I think I really liked Bryce in the second half and the third half. I really did. I thought, man, she's really surprising me, you know, like some of the stuff that she's doing. Like at one point in the beginning of the movie, I really didn't like her. I thought she was really prissy and this and that. And kind of how she carried herself is like she was so naive, but then at the same time she can't connect with something she's creating, you know. I mean, that might have been the analytical scientific side of her, that's just fine, but I was like, man, use some common decency, you know. And she gets it midway. And another thing, like even like the older brother in the movie, I didn't like him at first at all. I thought he was just being a douchebag to be a douchebag. Like, who goes to an island that has nothing but dinosaurs and you're on the phone talking to your girl? You know what I'm saying? I mean, and yeah, talk to your girl, that's fine, but know your surroundings. I mean, it's like it didn't even faze him. And I guess in the world that they're living in this mythology, that this has happened already. Like, there are dinosaurs, like they know they exist now in this day and age. But I thought that Gray, or Ty Simpkins, that played the character Gray, he was in last Iron Man 3. He was the young kid. He did a good job. I thought he did a really good job. I was like impressed by his role. And like I said, Bryce in the beginning, she was really prissy and stuff like that, but she surprised me. She had some OG moments too. Like whenever you go and you knowingly know you're about to face off against a T-Rex and you are waving a freaking flare to lure them out, you are an OG at that point. If you make it out alive, you are an OG. And she didn't do it just because like of stupid reasons. She did it out of a selfless nature. And I thought it was really good at like they progressed her story. So I think that the most character progression was her and I guess the older brother, but it was like, I don't know. I felt like he was underused. I felt like if he wasn't such a douchebag in the beginning, versus just, you know, I don't know. I think they could have handled the way the older brother was done a little better. And then even with, what is his name? He played Kingpin. Vincent D'Onofrio. He played a person named Hoskins. And I thought his character was an interesting anti-hero. But he was underused. I mean, this dude can act. If you look at Daredevil, you know what I mean. And I think for the scenes that he was in, I think he did a good job. But there are so many surprises. Like, the character, the Asian gentleman from the beginning that was working with these embryos and working with all the stuff that was with the DNA splicing in the beginning, he's alive. And he's the one that's reproducing this all over again into this new park. And then you got a new owner, and what is his name? Irfan Khan, who plays Simon. Simon is basically the person that's taking on the mantle from Hammond and preserving the park and the essence beyond it. And he has a real love. I really connected with him. As an actor, the different roles he's been in before, I really couldn't get with this character, but I actually really liked this character in this one. I thought he was really likable. But yeah, I mean, even Omar Sy, who plays the role of Barry, he was basically kind of like the partner of Owen or Chris Pratt's character. I like this character. I just think he was just underused. I felt like they could have used so much more. And I think one of the things about the second one I liked so much is that it was a team effort. It took almost everybody. Even though a lot of people died, it took a team effort to do it the right way. And they kind of kept it with the close knit with just the two kids and the girl and the boy. And but like I said, I mean, it was a really entertaining ride. There's a lot of CG that's really done really well. The scenes that connect with me the most, like I said, were Chris Pratt, the Velociraptors, and even like the hybrid. The way they do that hybrid joint is kind of scary. It really is. Like it's really menacing. It's really evil, and you feel the presence of evil on it. And that's one of the things that these animals before, it was just kind of like a natural kind of thing. Like you just don't want to F them basically. But with this, like it's a whole different kind of level. And so I give it a thumbs up. I actually really feel like it's an entertaining ride. Just go in, make sure you don't like try to compare it too much to the third one, because the third one doesn't, I mean, in my opinion, doesn't have any relevance to this one. And at the same time, don't try to think this is going to be like the greatest one or it's the best one. No, it's got a lot of different things where they could have built on a lot better as far as the characters, and even like I guess at some points in the beginning of the movie. But I understand, like if I looked at it again, I probably represent it a little bit better. But like I said, I enjoyed it. I give it 8.5 out of 10, or maybe an 8.2 out of 10. I'm one of those two. When I get some non-spoiler, then you'll know. I'm gonna sell it up there what the actual official story. Right now, I'm gonna say an 8.5 out of 10. It's a good ride. It's not the best movie in the world, but it's very entertaining, and you're gonna be enjoying it. Like especially if one of the things that I'll say going out, I have no idea what the body count is, y'all. Like there are people died in ways that I was really surprised by for a PG-13 movie. And so if you think it's gonna be like not that much death and not that much gore or too much stuff, like I promise you are you're in for a surprise. And so like I said, I enjoyed it. Hopefully you enjoyed it too. Please let me know if you thought about this spoiler-filled review with a like below if you did. Either way, just let me know in the comment sections below. And thanks everybody for watching. This is SCL0320 signing out. Y'all have a blessed night, blessed evening, blessed day. Until next time, later y'all.